Blog Talk Radio.
It's been a long day without you, my friend, and I'll tell you all about it when I see you again. We've come a long way from where we began. Oh, I'll tell you all about it when I see you again. When I see you again.
Damn, who knew? All the planes we flew, good things we've been through. That I'll be standing right here talking to you about another path. I know we love to hit the road and laugh, but something told me that it wouldn't last. Had to switch up, look at things different, see the bigger picture. Those were the days, hard work forever pays. Now I see you in a better place. How can we not talk about family when family's all that we got? Everything I went through, you were standing there by my side, and now you gon' be with me for the last ride.
It's been a long day without you, my friend, and I'll tell you all about it when I see you again. We've come a long way, from where we began.
You know we started.
Oh, I'll tell you all about it when I see you again.
Tell you.
When I see you again.
First you both go out your way and the vibe is feeling stronger. What's small turn to a friendship turn to a bond, and that bond will never be broken. The love will never get lost. And when brotherhood comes first, and the line will never be crossed. Established it on our own when that line had to be drawn, and that line is what we reach. So remember me when I'm gone. How can we not talk about family when family's all that we got? Everything I went through, you were standing there by my side, and now you gon' be with me for the last ride.
Let the light guide your way. Yeah. Hold every memory as you go, and every road you take will always lead you home. Oh, it's been a long day without you, my friend, and I'll tell you all about it when I see you again. We've come a long way from where we began. Oh, I'll tell you all about it when I see you again. When I see you
Ladies and gentlemen, this is Off the Chain. I am your host, Yvonne Mason, and that was When I See You Again. Those of you who have followed the show since the very first show this time last year know that we lost our granddaughter, who was 13 at the time, 2 years ago. She was part of the inspiration that got me off of my behind and made me get the show started, because it was a dream that I'd had for 5 years. And after we lost her, the only way that I knew how to honor her and keep her legacy alive was to do the first show about her. We did the first show of this month about her again, and the last 2 weeks of this month, we are playing our starter songs in her honor, because these were songs that she loved. Her name was Ramonda, and she gave the gift of life. Her heart was donated to a 12-year-old girl Her kidneys were donated, her pancreas was donated, and her liver was donated. Her corneas were donated, and her lungs were donated to science, to research, because she died of an asthma attack. There are 15,000 children a year under the age of 15 that die from asthma. It's a horrible, horrible disease, so we need to find a cure. So with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, let's start this Thursday night off with the bang. Thank you, every one of you. If it weren't for you listeners and guests, like my guest tonight, lead singer, musical artist Brandi Newman, we wouldn't have a show. And this show has taken on its own life form. I don't know what happened. It's not about me. It's about you, the listener. It's about the guest, and they keep coming back. We're heard in over 70 countries, ladies and gentlemen, 70 countries. And just on this show alone, we are at 24,109 listeners just on the show. With Australia, God love Australia. They are our biggest listener base on Blog Talk Radio. When you add in all of the podcasts this show is heard on, once it goes into archives, we are at 37,314 listeners. Ladies and gentlemen, that's a success story if I ever heard one. And I am so honored and so humbled at the response and the continuation of you all that go back and listen to the show in archives and support this show and send me people that sometimes it leaves me as a wordsmith almost speechless. Remember, I said almost. Now, if you want to be a sponsor for this show, if you go to advertisecast.com and look up Off the Chain, you will see the pricing for the ads for this show. And ladies and gentlemen, they're very reasonable. I'm not out to gouge anyone. I just want to give people more exposure. So go to advertisecast.com and send me an ad, and let's get you some exposure. And if you want to be a guest on the show, contact me at offthechainradio@yahoo.com. Now, without further ado, tonight's guest is musical artist and lead singer Brandi Newman. She is with a band called Brandi Reloaded Band, and they are amazing. They are fun, high energy, and they deliver every single time. It is a 5-piece cover band with a female and male vocals, and they bring you hits from the 70s to the present that cover, ladies and gentlemen, you're not going to believe the range of music they cover. We're talking rock, classic rock, pop, and country. And they have a line in their bio that I can relate to very well because I say it myself. And they say, because we all know it's about the journey. Brandi, welcome to the show, my dear. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me, Yvonne. I'm glad to be here.
Well, I tell you what, as soon as I saw rock, classic rock, pop, and country, I said, I got to have the girl. She's got to come on the show.
Well, thank you. That describes me pretty well.
that's all my favorite genres in music. But before we get into what you do and why you do it, let's talk about who you are and how you got here. Where are you from? Because it's not in your bio. Where'd you grow up? Was this part of your journey? Was it always about the music? Were you on a different path and you took a detour? Inquiring minds want to know.
I was born in Oklahoma City, Oklahoma, and I was adopted when I was 9 days old. And the hospital that adopted me told my parents, if she shows any musical inclination at all, you guys really need to foster that. They didn't tell them why, but they said that's something that needs to, she'll probably show an interest in. So as I was growing up, I sang in church, like a lot of people start out, and they bought me a piano, and I taught myself how to play the piano, and I sang a lot in high school, and and then did the whole got married thing, had 3 children. But I released my first cassette. It was cassettes back then in 1993, and wasn't going to release it. Just went in to record it for family and friends. And the guy that recorded it said, "I think I can do something with this."
Wow.
I said, "Oh, okay." So later, I had actually moved away and didn't really think anything about it, and started getting phone calls in Kansas from people in Oklahoma saying, "Do you know you're on the radio?" And it turns out 2 of my songs were picked up by Dallas, Oklahoma City, and Tulsa stations. So the title cut of the cassette was called "No Shadows," and that stayed at number 2 on the charts for about 6 weeks. So, but I just had a baby, and I wasn't going to pursue a music career at that point. But then years later, I picked it back up again and formed a rock band, and here we are. But to go back to my adoption, my parents found me when I was about 15 years ago. I found out that my dad was the lead singer for a pretty prominent rock band back in the 60s and 70s, and my mom was the backup singer for that rock band.
Wow.
Which is called Blood, Sweat, and Tears.
Listen to you. How amazing is that?
So it was pretty shocking to find out how it doesn't matter what your environment is, if that's in your DNA, I guess it's in your DNA. But luckily I was adopted into a pretty musical family. They all really enjoyed music, and some performed music. So they did, encourage me to pursue it as much as I wanted to. So I was very, very blessed.
And to have a double parental base of music ability, both from a bio family and from an adoptive family, is indeed a double blessing, because
definitely
not only did they pay attention to the hospital, but they were musically inclined themselves. So it would be only natural for them to say, "Whatever you want, Brandi, let's do it."
Exactly. Right.
That isn't well. That's first and foremost. Got to keep the grades up. But that is a beautiful, beautiful story, and we don't ever know the journey that we're going to take or where we're going to wind up. But when we're handed blessings like that, things always have a master plan and a master planner involved.
They do. It's pretty amazing how things work out.
It really, really is. So kudos to your birth parents and kudos to your adoptive parents, because look at you now.
Yeah, we're having a lot of fun. Tearing up the state of Oklahoma, that's for sure.
Well, by all means, you need to come to Florida. If you come to Florida, I'd come see you.
Would you?
I would. I certainly would. Absolutely. You come down to South Florida. See if don't show up in the audience and say, "Hey, remember me? I'm that woman."
That would be an honor. It would be an honor. I would have to get you up on the stage, though, to play tambourine.
I could do that. I would do that.
We do that at every show. We pick somebody out of the audience to come up and play the tambourine.
Pick me.
We do that a lot at shows.
How did I know that?
We have shows where everybody's afraid to get up there, so we have to drag somebody up there. But
oh, my Lord. I cannot imagine anybody being afraid to get up there and perform, because I love being in front of a group of people. I can't carry a tune in a bucket, but I do great speaking engagements, and I'm a great comedian.
Right.
There you go. I can play that tambourine. So let's talk a little.
Always so happy that they did it once they get up there. They're like, "That was so much fun."
You know what it is, Brandi? It's the fear of the unknown. Am I going to make a mistake? Well, you can't screw up a tambourine. All you have to do is
it's
tap
pretty
your foot and beat and hit to the beat. That's all you have to do.
Exactly.
Oh my goodness! So tell me why you picked music from the 70s.
I'm sorry, what? You were cutting out.
Why did y'all pick music from the 70s to do your covers on?
Well, before we started this band, we literally went to hear all the bands and all the bars in Oklahoma City and some in Tulsa just to see what the market was, what people danced to, what they requested, what they really enjoyed, because we wanted to bring a show to the people that they wanted, not just music we wanted to play. So just from a year, literally, of listening to all these bands play and what seemed to be the most popular, and we added those songs, and then we added more songs that we thought, that a lot of bands don't cover in Oklahoma City that we thought people would want to hear. So,
and apparently it's working out it's working out really well for you.
It's working out very well. We've done, I haven't counted how many shows we've done this year, but I know we've covered a lot of cities and done a lot of shows, and we're pretty much booked up through the year now. I think we've got 2 more dates we can book, and that's about it. So we do have to take a break at least one weekend a month to be with our family. So.
Oh, why did you want to go and spoil it now?
Right.
I mean, really? had to go throw that in there. Well, I tell you what, let's do. Because I don't want us to run out of time before I let the folks hear your beautiful voice. So I'm going to play Twilight, and then let's talk about this song. Yeah, hold on just a second.
Maybe my connection
Ladies and gentlemen, that was Twilight Zone by Brandi Reloaded, and Brandi Newman, the female vocalist of that band, is my guest tonight. And I have to say, Brandi, while I was listening to that song, two things came to my mind. Number one, I saw a movie in my head because I am an author of a hitman and running to that song, and I also saw an ad in my head using that song advertising a couple of books written by a friend of mine who wrote about a female assassin who's a vampire. And I'm going, I wonder if Brandi will let me use that to do an ad for Sherry's books, because that would be advertisement for both of them. So
you bet.
Okay. So many things are dancing through my head while I'm listening to this song. The beat, I'm tapping my foot. I would have got up and danced, but then I would have torn my headphones off and couldn't have heard the song. It's an amazing song. It's full of energy and all kinds of things that are dancing around in my head and movies. And why that song?
Wow. Well, we Golden Earring originally recorded that song. I can't remember what year they recorded. I think it was back in the 70s. But yeah, we like that song, and that's always one that I've wanted to do. So we just worked that one up, and actually that's our opening number to our show. So it opens up with a bang, that's for sure.
Well, I want to know who the main lead guitar is.
Oh, the main lead guitarist, that is Mark Mad Dog Manning. And we were so blessed to have found him. He's from the Norman area, and he is amazing on stage. And there are a couple of songs he'll go out into the audience, and he actually climbs up on the tables and plays the guitar backwards over his head.
Oh, my word.
Yeah,
I'm hearing.
That on our.
I'm hearing these strings in my headset, and I have a vision of this guy just making that guitar walk and talk and getting so into it. He's not even on the same planet as the rest of us.
Well, he's certainly not on the same level a lot of the times because he's on the tables. We all just stand around and watch him in awe. I don't know how he does that, but he doesn't miss a note. He's got that guitar behind his head, and then when he flips it over, the back of his guitar is lit up, and it says Mad Dog on it. So it's quite a show for the audience. They're always amazed by that.
And I bet y'all never get tired of it either.
Oh no. In fact, we watch just hoping that won't be the time that he falls off the table. The bass player, Nikki, and I usually run out and kind of stand guard around him to try to at least cushion the fall.
Yeah, because those tables are not that sturdy either.
No, they're not always sturdy. No. But he's smart enough to go out before the show and pick the sturdiest table he's going to step on before he does it. So,
well, that's good.
Planned out. Yeah. So.
Oh, well, since we're talking about the magnificent band, tell me the history behind the rest of these guys, because usually in a band that I've had experience with, the drummers drown out the rest of the band, and I don't know why. But this drummer just was perfect. He was so on point, and he was just loud enough to keep the beat, but not so loud that I couldn't make out your words, and I couldn't make out the lead guitar.
Right. Yeah, our drummer is Mr. David Hughes. We call him the Timekeeper. And he just recently joined our band, actually, but he is so talented. He kind of pulls back, and if we act like we're going to start going too fast in a song, he'll drop it back and keep it back in his pocket, and he's phenomenal at that. And yeah, he doesn't just, a lot of players just have one volume and that's loud. And he's not like that. He knows how to go softer and he knows how to go louder, and he knows the right one to do each of them. So we're very, very blessed to have him.
And who is your bass player again? Is who?
Mark Manning. Oh,
and
our bass player. Our bass player is Nikki Frank.
Nikki Frank. Okay, so it's. Have we got all 5 of you now? Did we?
We have a keyboard player, and that's Nathan Callahan.
Well, and who is your male vocals?
They trade off, but Mark and Nikki do the male vocals. Mark sings quite a few of the lead on quite a few of the songs as well. So it kind of gives me a break during shows because we put on 4-hour shows.
Good Lord, child! You don't take a break at all?
We take about a 15-minute break, 3 15-minute breaks. But we usually perform for about 45 minutes at a time, take a 15-minute break, then go back at it again.
That is a long time, a 4-hour show.
4-hour show, yeah. So,
child, please, you need a medal.
Well, that's what happens when you play in nightclubs. You know, you're the music for the night. They don't depend on a jukebox; they're dependent on you. So, yeah, you got to have a lot of music, and you got to be solid. So,
ladies and gentlemen, if you have that dream, ladies and gentlemen, listen to Brandi because she knows from whence she speaks. And 4 hours is a long, long time. So if you're not committed, don't do it. I would not recommend it at all. Now, you said that y'all play all over the state of Oklahoma. Do you play outside of Oklahoma at all?
No, we haven't played any shows outside of. Well, no, we haven't yet. No, we're working on getting into the Dallas market. We played a show in Tulsa the other night, and there was a gentleman there that is actually in the music scene in Dallas, and he said, he goes, you guys would fit in really well down here. So we're working on booking some shows down there. And then also booking some shows in Arkansas and Kansas. So
and pretty soon you'll work your way south. Pretty soon you'll work your way over down to the deep south and then down here into paradise. And
right.
I can play the tambourine.
You can play you're already hired. You've already got time.
All right. All right. You heard it first here, ladies and gentlemen. You heard it first. How long have y'all been together?
We have been together for about it'll be a year in December. December 18th last year was our very first show. So, but we've all been in other bands before, so we're seasoned pros. We just had not been in a band together.
Well, I'm going to tell you sound like you've been together for longer than a year because I've heard bands that have only been together a year, and they sound like they've only been together a year because they haven't learned how to mesh with each other. But it sounds like that y'all, and again, ladies and gentlemen, if you're haven't been around musicians and music enough, Brandi knows what I'm talking about. As musicians, you have to be able to read each other while you're standing up on stage. You have to be able to anticipate each other's moods and actions and words and even missteps, right?
Exactly. Mainly the missteps, mainly made by me when I forget words. Because nowadays a lot of the bands have gone to, the front people have gone to reading iPads. They read the words. But we, in our band, we feel like that doesn't give you can't connect with the audience to do that. So all of our singers have every word memorized. We don't have any cheat sheets that we use. So we know.
And if you forget words, that's okay. You'll just make some up as you go along.
Oh, yeah.
Nobody don't know the difference.
Songs so many times. Yeah, in fact, I mentioned earlier that David Hughes is new to our band. He's our drummer. Our previous drummer, Paul Rideout, he actually helped me start this band, but then he had to move to California, so he left us, unfortunately. But when we were recording I Love Rock and Roll, which I believe that's on your playlist tonight, I figured out that all that time Paul had been singing I Love Rocky Road. And I didn't realize it until we went into the studio. And I think you might be able to hear it on the recording when you play it tonight. He's singing I Love Rocky Road. So, and then when we got on stage afterwards to perform that song, it was all I could do to keep a straight face, because then I could hear him singing I Love Rocky Road.
I love it. I love it. That is too funny.
Yeah,
oh,
little band.
well, let's just play it and see if we can hear I Love Rocky Road. Hold on.
Sounds good.
Down by the record machine. Knew he must have been about 17. Dancing there alone, playing my favorite song. And I could tell it wouldn't be long. He was with me, yeah, me. And I could tell it wouldn't be long. He was with me, yeah, me. Singing, I love rock and roll. Put another dime in the jukebox. It's all the same. Let me take you home where we can be alone. Next we're moving on. He was with me, yeah, me. Next we're moving on. He was with me, yeah, me. Singing, I love rock and roll. Put another dime in the jukebox, baby. I love rock and roll. Come and take your time and dance with me. We're singing that same old song as he was me, yeah, me. Singing, I love rock and roll. Put another dime in the jukebox, baby. I love rock and roll. So come and take your time and dance with me. I love rock and roll. Put another dime in the jukebox, baby. I love rock and roll. So come and take your time and dance with me. I love rock and roll. Put another dime in the jukebox, baby.
Wow.
Ladies and
gentlemen, yes, I'm going, and I'm sitting here laughing to myself because I can see this drummer sitting there playing away singing I Love Rocky Road.
Yeah, and the other thing about this drummer, which is so funny, is Paul was notorious for eating while he played the drums, but nobody ever saw him eat. He could walk back there with a full Thanksgiving dinner, and it'd be gone by the first set. By the time we were finished with the first set, we're like, nobody ever sees him eating it, but it's gone. So nobody's eating it.
He must be an amazing human being.
Yeah, he was pretty amazing.
So let's talk about some of the interesting experiences that you have had doing performances, going to shows, traveling, because like you say, y'all all have families, so at some point you have to go home and be with your family. There has to be funny things or odd things that happened on the road or even at home while you weren't there that you look back at now and just, laugh your head off?
Oh, goodness. Well, let me see. Man, we have a sound guy that travels with us as well, and his name is Dave Wexler. And we can always count on, after we get through tearing down or while we're tearing down, Dave always starts talking about what he's going to eat on the way home. And so usually by the time we're all finished tearing down, we're starving because of, he's like, well, I can't decide if I'm going to have taquitos or if I'm going to have tacos, or maybe I'm just going to go to Whataburger and get me a burger. I mean, he's talking about things we can't even get that late at night because it's usually like 2 o'clock in the morning. We're tearing stuff down. So then we all get in the car, and then he starts texting, okay, I think I'm going to go eat, he won't let it in, so I think we're going to have taquitos, or so it's a constant. So we call Wex our foodie guy. We always ask him what he's got planned to eat afterwards. So
now, when you do your gigs, does some of them require being gone overnight? I mean, you're traveling all over the state of Oklahoma, which is a huge state, ladies and gentlemen. I mean, for hours you can travel and see nobody or nothing. And so I'm sure there's times when y'all...
You're thinking of.
It could be. They all blend together after a while.
They do.
But I'm sure there's times that y'all have to go and stay overnight, because who wants to travel 300 miles at 2 o'clock in the morning?
Exactly. Yeah, we're pretty deep. So, yeah, usually our Tulsa shows, Tulsa shows are Grand Lake shows. We perform some on Grand Lake. That's usually when we say we're going to have to get a hotel and call it a night. But Nathan, who is also my fiance, he's the keyboard player of the band. We found the perfect hotel in the DoubleTree in Tulsa, so that's kind of our home away from home, because we have been playing Tulsa quite a bit. In fact, we're there again this weekend. Tomorrow night we've got a show in Tulsa, so we'll leave tomorrow afternoon and head that way and check in, do a little rest and relaxation before the show. So.
And so, see, ladies and gentlemen, she so kindly came on the show tonight, and it's such an honor, because I know she needs to be zenning out and maybe even practicing a little bit, but she chose to spend an hour with me, and you don't know how grateful I am for that, Brandi, and how much I appreciate that.
Oh, anything for you, Yvonne. That's not a problem. I'm happy to be here, and we appreciate you asking us on the show and giving us the exposure. We greatly appreciate that.
Well, honey, you're up there at the top of my list with new favorite artists now. What can I say? Ladies and gentlemen, I'm a convert, so I'm gonna tell all of you, go be converted. We'll tell you in a little bit where you can go get the music. So stay tuned. You cannot go now. No, you have to stay here and listen to the rest of the show. So you said you have children, or as we like to say in the South, children.
I do. I have children.
And how many children have you got?
I have 3 children. I have 2 adult children, and I have one that still lives at home with me. So.
Are they excited about the fact that their mom is a celebrity?
No.
No.
Take your therapist.
Well, now that's just rude.
I know, right?
Have they showed any musical inclinations? Do they even like music?
Oh, they all 3 love music. My daughter sings, but she won't let anybody hear her. So, and my son, my youngest son, he sings, and they both have beautiful voices, but they won't let anybody hear them. So, I get those free private concerts myself. So.
Well, one day maybe they'll realize
maybe
that they have the voices of angels, and they need to share it, because we need to hear it.
I
Tell
didn't
them.
sing out in public until I was 14 years old, so
well,
there's still time.
Well, and also let them know that they're our future, and they're dreamers, and part of our future and being dreamers is music, because without people that were dreamers, that were musically inclined. Just think about, for you, for instance, if you hadn't have picked it back up, we'd never have this show, and I wouldn't have heard your beautiful voice and hear your drummer sing "I Love Rocky Road."
I know, right?
Yeah, see how that works.
Everything works out like it's supposed to.
Yeah, it does. So let's talk about, we got about 15 minutes left. So let's talk about, you said y'all are booked up till the end of the year. So for our audience, listen closely, ladies and gentlemen, because you might want to make a road trip to Oklahoma, because that's the only place you're going to hear them live right now. And if you're already in Oklahoma, oh, how I hate you. So tell the folks all of the gigs that y'all are going to be playing. I know you're going to Tulsa this weekend. Where are you headed from now until the end of the year?
Okay. Yeah, we've got Tulsa on Friday. And then we are going to be at the Landing Zone on August 11th. And then August 12th, we're back at the Landing Zone for Rock Out Cancer 4. That's a benefit that raises money for OU Medical Center. And it's a great deal. They pick 8 of the best bands in Oklahoma City to come raise money for cancer awareness, cancer research. And they have a silent auction, giveaways, T-shirts, food. It's a really fun night. And then August 19th, we're at the Grand Casino. And September 15th, we're at Okie Tonk and More. And then September 21st, we're at Art After 5. That's the Oklahoma Arts Museum rooftop party. And you literally go up on the rooftop, way up there. And they have a band, which will be us, and drinks and food. It's a really good time. September 23rd, we're at Riverwind Casino. October 6th, we're at Hollywood Corners. That's in Norman. October 14th, we're at Remington Park. October 27th and 28th, we're at the landing Zone again for Halloween. And December 2nd, we're back at Remington Park.
Y'all have a busy schedule.
We do. We're very lucky. We get to. We're a pretty busy band in Oklahoma City. So.
Well, with that being said, and being creative, and understanding that as artists, and ladies and gentlemen, if you're not an artist of some kind, but you have a passion, you'll understand why I'm asking this question. Being as busy as you are and as intense as y'all get on the stage, when do you find time for Brandi, which is very important, and time to recharge your batteries and regroup your senses so you can go out and do it again? Because I mean, you're not only an entertainer, you're a mom, you're a girlfriend, you have children, you have a home to run, and from my working when my children are small, that's not easy.
No, it's not. Fortunately, my 14-year-old son gives me no problems at all. He's the easiest kid in the world to raise, so I'm very fortunate there. My fiance makes life so easy for me. I'm so blessed that I just don't have any major stressors in my life right now. The biggest stress I have is planning a wedding, and that's not a stress at all. So we're getting married September 16th. We're really excited about that. So in the middle of all the shows, we're going to literally do a show September 15th, then get married the next day. So we've got a lot on our plate. But
you just made my head spin.
I agree, though. Taking time for yourself is very important, and I get that with my family at home at night where it's quiet and we all just relax and do our favorite stuff together. So I get plenty of that. Very, very well balanced. So that's why I'm able to do what I'm able to do.
Well, and if you weren't able to do that, Brandi, and ladies and gentlemen, I hope y'all are paying attention, because if she were not able to do that, she couldn't balance her life, and we all have to have balance in our lives. And sometimes something that we do gets out of balance, and it shows up in everything else that we do. And sadly, in the industry that you're in, that's what happens, is someone's life gets out of balance, and it completely destroys them.
Right. It certainly can. If you get wrapped up in the wrong things and don't stay grounded, it can definitely tear you up. And I've seen it happen firsthand to a lot of people, and it's not pretty. So, yeah, going into it, and all my band members, they know I subscribe to this. We all subscribe to this. When it quits being fun, that's when we're going to stop. And still, when we're on stage, people come up to us and say, we can tell you guys genuinely like each other, and you genuinely have a good time up there. And that's what we always want to portray. We don't ever, because we don't ever. It is a job, and we treat it as a business, but it's a fun job, and we always want it to be fun.
And when you don't genuinely like each other, that shows up in the performances, and it shows up in the body language when you're on stage. Even though, and I'm not talking about y'all, but when a band or a performer doesn't like their band, or doesn't like their backup singers, or has had a fight with the boyfriend or the husband or the lover or the whoever, it shows up.
Oh, most definitely. Most definitely. It does every time. You can see it. And
so
then the crowd doesn't have it.
Right. They respond in kind, because they go away feeling like that they've been cheated out of their money's worth of a performance, because they came to be entertained.
Exactly.
And when
That's
you sing,
true.
I love, when the drummer sings, I love Rocky Road, they're being entertained.
That's entertainment right there, folks. That's what you get.
I love it. I love it. So, ladies and gentlemen, if you're starting up a band, or even a solo artist, you're still going to have band members and backup singers and all that good stuff. Remember that in order to be successful, there's more to it than just your name on a record label, or writing a song and putting it out there, or standing in front of an audience. You have to stay grounded. You have to have balance in your life, and you have to regenerate your batteries and have quiet time and downtime. Anything else to add to that, Brandi?
No, I think that's it. And yeah, I mean, it's all very true.
And love yourself, ladies and gentlemen. Like yourself. Warts and all. I mean, you gotta do it. and no, y'all can't go yet. Tell the audience, because believe it or not, like I told you earlier, we're going to be running out of time here real soon. Tell the audience where y'all can be found, so they can go and listen to the music, or even buy your music and download it.
Okay. Yeah, we're on 3 different websites. We've got a Facebook page. That's Brandi, Brandi, Reloaded. Check us out on Facebook. Press that like button. That's what helps us get hired. The more likes we have, the better off we are. We're also on Reverb Nation, and we are on Twitter. And then we also have our own website, and that's Brandi, Brandi-Reloaded.com.
And we talked before we went live, ladies and gentlemen, and they are working on original music so they can get up on iTunes and CD Baby. So let's encourage them, because while we love their 70s music and they do give it a wonderful twist, I want to be able to say, yes, I interviewed her when.
Yeah, we're also on YouTube. My channel is Brandi Newman, Newman. You can check us out on there, or you can just type in Brandi Reloaded, and our videos will come up. We just put a new one up there. I Can't Tell You Why by the Eagles. We've also got a Journey tribute that we just got out of the studio recording. We're mixing and mastering that right now, so that's going to be out soon. So, yeah, check us out on all those, Facebook, Twitter, Reverb Nation, YouTube. All of our music is on there.
And encourage this group, ladies and gentlemen, because I see them in another year being so busy they won't even have time to breathe, because as you've heard tonight, they put a kick in the music they sing. They're a breath of fresh air. They make me want to get up and dance. You are welcome.
Well,
I'm so excited that y'all came on tonight. It just tickles me to death. Been trying to get this girl on for months. And of course, I'm booked up 3 months in advance. She's booked up from here to God's little acre. And we just had to keep working at it, but we got it.
We finally got it worked out.
Yes, we did. And since I have you on the line, I want to bring you back in February or March. So I know it would be better to do it in the middle of the week as opposed to the weekends, because you guys are always on the road. So since I had a brain cramp and didn't bring my book back in the studio, when I get back to my other desk, can I send you a couple of dates, and let's go ahead and get you locked in for next year with some music?
You bet. You bet. That'd be great. We'll have some new music by then to bring to you.
Yay! See, ladies and gentlemen, when you listen to the live show, you get all the news quickly. You don't have to wait for it in archives.
That's
so
true.
Go, after the show is over, ladies and gentlemen, go to YouTube and look up Brandi Newman. Look on Reverb Nation for Brandi Reloaded. Like their Facebook page so this wonderful group can get more gigs and get out there and travel across the country and get them a bus, and you can see the bus going down the highway and say, yeah, I heard them on Yvonne's show. Because they're our future. They're our present, but they're also our future. They are bringing music to a whole new level, and I am so honored and so humbled to have you on the show. And in the last remaining, we got in about a minute and a half, can you tell someone how to make their dream real?
I tell you what, I think about this every day because I'm literally doing band business every day, and you've got to act. You can't just sit there and say, I'm going to do this someday. Today's a day, and you need to take, even if it's just a baby step, do something every day towards your dream. And eventually you're going to start seeing things come to fruition, and it will pay off. But you've got to be diligent and persistent, but you got to take that first step, because it's not going to happen if you don't.
Absolutely. And you can't wait for it to fall in your lap, ladies and gentlemen, because that doesn't work. So
absolutely not.
I want to thank Brandi for being on the show, because she is a marvelous, marvelous, marvelous human being, a wonderful, over-the-top artist. And if you don't go get her music, I'll send my flying monkeys after you. It's just that simple. Tomorrow night, you are welcome, darling. Tomorrow night at 8 o'clock Eastern Daylight Time, he is a comedian, and he also writes under the pen name John P. Kettlem. So join us for him. He should be an interesting guest. And then Saturday night, the young lady who I have known for many years, that we had to cancel the show last weekend because my husband had some health issues, she will be with us, Melissa Green, at 8 o'clock Eastern Daylight Time on Saturday night. And y'all all know that this show is always off the chain because I don't do a scripted show. I have no idea what we're going to talk about, even though I have notes. The conversation takes on its own life form simply because it makes it more fun. And I don't know about Brandi, but I have not only had a blast tonight, I can't wait to do it again.
I can't either, Yvonne. Thank you so much.
You are welcome, darling. So here's a few tidbits, ladies and gentlemen, to take with you. If you want to achieve success and greatness, stop asking permission because nobody's going to give it to you. Just go out and do it. Just do like Brandi did. Just do it. And you would be surprised at the things that will happen. Just as an aside, I have been approached by 4 different people whose family members were murdered, and I will be doing 4, ladies and gentlemen, 4 true crimes at the same time because I went out and I did it. Don't just feel special, be special. Think about that statement, because if you just feel special, you'll never be special. Your smile is your logo. Your personality is your business card. And how you leave others feeling after having an experience with you. You all know, ladies and gentlemen, that does become your trademark. And the way that we walk away from others after we have talked with them, they will never remember our name, but they will remember how we made them feel. And if you don't believe it, go back and think about the times of how others made you feel. And you will see that you didn't remember their name, but you remembered how they made you feel. And I always want to leave my guests and my listeners with a wonderful feeling of love, appreciation, and acceptance, tolerance, and just joy that they were happy that we were together for a little while. So don't forget that if you want to become a sponsor on the show, go to advertisecast.com, look up Off the Chain, send me your ad, and we'll take care of it for you. Don't forget to join us again tomorrow night at 8 o'clock Eastern Daylight Time when we interview Haji Outlaw. And I want to say thank you again to Brandi for taking an hour out of her very busy schedule to reload for us, because it was wonderful. And this is Off the Chain. I am your host, Yvonne Mason. And you never know what you're going to listen to when you tune into us. You never know what you're going to hear. So with that, we say join us again tomorrow night at 8 o'clock Eastern Daylight Time here on Off the Chain. And my guest, Brandi Newman, and I wish you a good evening. Hold on, Brandi. Okay, the show is, we're in archives now, and what we say, of course, is going to show up in archives. It's like the bloopers after you see the credits on the movie. But I did want to say, again, thank you so much for being here tonight. I appreciate you.
Oh, sure. Yeah, I enjoyed it.
And the hour went by fast, did it not?
It did. It flew by.
it does that. And
That's
have
wild.
fun. Good luck tomorrow night. Have safe travels. And when I get back to my desk, I'll send you some dates for February. And when you get a minute, send me some new stuff, because I won't post that show until December or January. I won't set it. I usually try to set them like a month ahead of time. And then I can add your music later when you get it to me. But I am excited. I am so excited. And thank you for letting me. Thank you for letting me take that Twilight Zone and do it. And what I will do is, when I do the ad for my friend's vampire book, and she's a female assassin. It's what's so funny. Her name's Gypsy Thorne, and she's a female assassin. And at the end, I'm going to credit y'all with the song and tell them to go to Reverb Nation and to your website to find it.
Okay, that'll be great.
Okay, my darling. Well, go.
Well, thank you
go
so
in.
much, dear.
You are welcome. Go and enjoy the rest of your evening, and I will catch up with you later.
Okay, sounds good. Thank you.
Thank you, honey. Good night.
Bye-bye.